Hey, party people. So, today we're talking about habit planning or basically behavior change as if it were trying to find a flow state. So, the idea being in a flow state, we're in this perfect sweet spot between something that's too easy and something that's too challenging. And what it does is it keeps us in this kind of sweet spot in the middle where we're really engaged, really energized, and really undistracted and focused with the task. So this is how we kind of transfer that ideology into behavior change and habits. So first and foremost, before we come up with any habits, we need to just, again, quickly, clearly redefine what the goal is. What is it that we're trying to work towards? Is it weight loss? Is it muscle gain? Because again, if if the goal is building muscle mass, then the habit of, let's say, running a 5k every day is not really a relevant habit for the end goal, and we just need to make sure that we've got some alignment between that. So once we've clearly defined the goal, I then want you to think, and again, if you need help, shoot us a message, but quite intentionally we want to try and get your own brain turning here on what are 10 things that I could be doing that will get me closer to that goal. And again, these need to be specific. It's not eat better. It might be consume 1 to 2 servings of veggies with dinner. It could be drink a little bit of water in the morning. It could be go to the gym 3 times a week. But we want to have a habit, as you can kind of clearly see it in your mind. And we're going to put that on a long list of 10 things that we could do to move us closer to that goal. So once we've got that big selection of habits or options, I want you to rate the difficulty of those habits. Now, it's difficult to really give an example of this just because drinking a glass of water in the morning for someone could be an 8, whereas for another person it might be a 1. This really has to be how you perceive the difficulty of those habits or tasks. Once you've kind of had a look through your 10 habits, what I want you to do is number each one of them on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being impossibly hard, 1 being too easy, you barely even notice that you're doing it. Pop a little number next to each one, rating their difficulty. So now you've got your 10 options, you know where they sit along this continuum. What I want you to do is to pick one habit to start with that's somewhere between a 5 and 7. There wants to be an element of challenge to this, but ultimately, in the back of our minds, we want to think there's 100% certainty of me being able to do this. There's difficulty in that, but I know that I'm fully capable of being able to do this, and I'm confident in my ability to execute that. And then that's how we start. Again, there's lots of kind of twists and turns and adjustments to this, and that's why the next step is ultimately review. Whether it's on a weekly, fortnightly, or even monthly basis, we need to come back in, kind of tune back into ourselves and go, well, how is that habit performing for me? Is it still feeling challenging? Because as time goes on, ideally we should find things progressively getting easier. So we might be able to upgrade the habit, bring a new one in. But again, we're constantly trying to find ourselves somewhere between a 5 and a 7 along that continuum. The other thing to notice or to be aware of is that unfortunately these things aren't always linear. Stuff changes in life, work changes, relationships change, stress arrives unannounced. So something that one day might be a 5 might now suddenly be an 8. So we need to have, regular check-in points with either ourselves or our coach, again, weekly, fortnightly, or monthly, that allow us to tune back in and go, where am I along this continuum? How can I readjust to keep myself in that sweet spot where I'm energized, motivated, and truly focused?